So should child rapists get the death penalty? That's what we're debating tonight. Joining us here in the studio is the former Commissioner of Police in Delhi, Mr. Ved Marwa. We have women's rights activist Dr. Anjana Kumari with us. We'll be joined shortly by Abhishek Singhvi of the Congress Party and Pinaki Mishra, BJD MP, and Meenakshi Lekhi of the BJP. Let me ask Mr. Marwa first. What do you think of this suggestion that Sushma Swaraj has made? Is it a knee-jerk reaction, as some are saying it is, or do you think it would genuinely be a deterrent?
No, the demand may be genuine, but if the intention is that merely bringing death sentence as a penalty in the law is going to act as a deterrent, that's not going to happen. Because merely a law doesn't change anything. It is the implementation of the law. And we know, everybody knows how weak our criminal justice system is. We have death sentence for many offences, but it doesn't mean that those offences have come down, because the courts are extremely reluctant to give death sentence. Apart from that, these cases go on for years and years and years, and to get conclusive evidence to demand death sentence puts a huge strain on the investigative agency, which again in the present shape of the police forces in the country is not going to happen. So I'm afraid bringing death sentence in the law is going to be counterproductive. And I don't doubt the intention of the people who are demanding it, because they're only reiterating that they're losing faith in the criminal justice system, because they know that all these people ultimately get nothing, and
obviously there's genuine anger and horror at what has happened.
Genuine anger and horror, but that should be channelized in a constructive manner, where we deal with crimes against women, status of women, attitude of the police in tackling crimes against women, and the society in general, and the entertainment media, how it treats women.
Yeah, and those are all the bigger questions that we all have to address. And so, Ranjana Kumari, do you agree that this is not what the focus should be, that the focus needs to be, for instance, channelized towards maybe police reform, the way our courts function, rather than, okay, let's have the death penalty, hang them all? Or do you understand the sentiment behind it?
Well, the anger, the anguish, the frustration of the people at large, not only now but also in December, that hang them. This has been across the board. Everybody has been feeling like that. And if you ask my personal opinion, Nidhi, I would say bring them, I will shoot them personally. But that's not how any system functions. That's not how a democratic institution functions, a democratic nation functions. I think, and also civilized, I think death penalty is becoming an old story now. So hanging people is becoming a kind of primitive, backward. Many nations of the world are discussing it today, and they are thinking. But of course, when you look at the way it has come from a very senior leader like Sushma Swaraj, certainly there is an amount of, the kind of deep upset that everybody is feeling about it. But I think Mr. Marwa said it very rightly. 95,000 pending cases, 25,000 last year's cases, and then you know that only 1 out of 3 get convicted. So in death penalty, I think either there will be 1 out of 100 hanged and 99 left scot-free. This is what is going to happen, because it is not easy to prove it in the court of law. It is not easy for the nation to prepare itself to hang so many people. Will we be hanging about 100,000 people just like that to be able to? So I think it's something which is, and also we do have provision. It's not that we don't have provision in terms of rarest of the rare cases where rapist has killed the victim. There is death penalty already, so it's not to say that we don't have that.
So you're saying a similar thing, that
can I add one sentence only? It is the certainty of punishment which will act as a deterrent,
and swiftness,
and not death sentence.
Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, would you agree with that? Because that's something I know that you've personally maintained. You don't believe that the death penalty is necessarily the answer to this, but I'm sure you would understand that when a country looks at a horrific crime like this happening to not just one child, but there have been other children across the country whose cases have come forward in the last few days, that there's a feeling that the current law, which has been strengthened, can be strengthened a little further. Do you think that would help?
Nidhi, I have a little more nuanced stand on this. First of all, I believe that India has struck it right by having per se death penalty as a rarest of rare option in certain death cases. And I think that's a good combination, that normally no death, but as a sentencing policy where there is a rarest of rare situation, you can and should have death penalty, and I stand by that. Secondly, when the Nirbhaya incident happened, I went on record on several channels saying that although it is the most heinous and unspeakable crime, I personally would not favor death penalty, principally for two reasons. One is that statistically it has been found that conviction rates fall whenever the penalty possibly imposable is death, because judges are hesitant to convict in that situation. And secondly, because when rape is accompanied by death, in any case there is a death penalty in the rarest of rare cases. But having said those two things, in a situation like the current one, which involves an even more unimaginable degree of barbarism and inhumanity, I would slightly modify my earlier stand to say that yes, perhaps you should have a residual power of death penalty where there are aggravated features which a judge can record. Death penalty for aggravated features. Now, for example, in this case, if it is true, and it's almost unstatable, unthinkable, that you are extracting from a 5-year-old girl candles and other foreign material, and there is this kind of torture accompanying it, this certainly in my mind would qualify for an aggravated feature case.